Tom's rich and handsome, really the best boyfriend ever. I can't wait to get married. I'm definitely a better match for Tom's wife, right? Sarah's really beautiful. I want to get rid of my parasite as soon as possible. Sarah, I'll definitely divorce her and make you my wife, just wait a little longer. The moment I saw my husband and his mistress flirting over the screen, my resolve solidified. My name is Sadie. I met Tom in college, and we've been together for over 20 years. At the beginning of our relationship, I was charmed by Tom's leadership, but gradually, I started feeling uneasy about his behavior. For instance, when we went out to eat, he would say, "Geez, it's been quite a while since we ordered, and nothing's been served." It's okay. It's lunchtime, so it's busy, and they're probably swamped. They should be able to foresee the rush and take measures to prevent it. It's a waste of time, and they should hurry up and serve us. Tom would call over a waiter, and before I knew it, he was yelling at them, and then demanded to speak to someone higher up, continuing to nag and make snide remarks to the manager. Looking back, I can see it was clear signs of emotional abuse, but Tom was always kind to me, and I couldn't bring myself to dislike him or leave him. Then, in our last year of college, Tom proposed to me. I got a job offer from a printing company. That's great, congratulations. You've really worked hard, Tom. Yeah, I could do it because of you, Sadie. I have this ideal, see. When I come home from work, I want my wife to welcome me back. So, Sadie, will you marry me? But we're just starting to work, and we don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe it'd be better if we both experienced working first. No, I want you to stay at home, Sadie. So, stop job hunting, and become a homemaker after you graduate. If I have your support, I can do my best. Please, I want to be with you, Sadie. I'll make you happy, I promise. I was confused and struggled with the sudden proposal, but I was happy that Tom needed me, so in the end, I married Tom and became a homemaker. My friends were envious, but once married life began, the initially kind Tom started demanding more around the house, and his words and attitude grew harsher. What's this for dinner? I wanted something hearty today. I'm sorry. It's just before payday, so money's tight. With the rising cost of living, I was hoping you could contribute a bit more to the household expenses. Are you saying my paycheck is too small? You're just lazing around at home without working, and you have the nerve to talk back to me. I'm not saying that at all. After all, the only reason I'm not working is because you wanted it that way. You're the one who agreed to it. Once you agree, doing the housework perfectly as a homemaker is just expected. Tom had become someone who either spewed sarcasm or yelled whenever he opened his mouth. This life had continued for nearly 20 years. Honestly, I'm surprised that I managed to continue for so long. We remained childless. Whenever I tried to talk about having children, he would say, "You want kids? Then go check yourself out at the hospital. I want them too." Then, Tom, you should also come with me. What's the point of me, a man, going? But they check for male infertility nowadays too. There's no way the problem is with me. Just go yourself, quick. He stubbornly refused to go, and in the end, I went to the hospital alone, but it turned out we couldn't have children. Recently, in addition to housework, he started criticizing my clothing, physique, and makeup. With such an unattractive figure, clothes and makeup are a waste. It's embarrassing to be recognized as my wife, so try to stay inside as much as possible. The criticism had escalated more than ever, and my spirit was exhausted. To add to that, Tom now thrust a divorce paper in front of me. Wait, what's this all about? What do you mean? I just don't feel like being with you anymore. Even though I'm supporting you, you can't even manage the housework properly, and your looks have deteriorated. I don't see any benefit in being with you anymore. That's harsh. I entered this household because you wished for it, and I've supported you in my own way. Supported? It's more like I've been supporting a useless you. Just sign the divorce papers and get out, will you? After being together for over 20 years, I never thought I would receive such treatment. That day, I refused to sign while crying and locked myself in my room, crying incessantly. Not knowing what to do, the next day, I decided to consult some mutual friends. When I contacted one of our college friends, a few of them immediately came over to my house. After I explained what happened the day before, one of them said, "Actually, I didn't know how to tell you this, Sadie, but Tom is having an affair. And he's even introducing her to us."
What? So everyone knows Tom's mistress?
Yes, everyone was appalled, but it seems they themselves haven't noticed. We were wondering how to tell you, Sadie, and we even secretly took a video. Do you want to see it? In the video they showed me, a woman was leaning on Tom, and Tom was looking at her with a happy, smitten face. Tom's rich and handsome, really the best boyfriend ever. I can't wait to get married. I'm definitely a better match for Tom's wife, right? Sarah's really attractive. I want to get rid of my parasite as soon as possible. Sarah, I'll definitely divorce her and make you my wife, just wait a little longer. Seeing the two of them boldly say this in public, I felt a fire of anger light up inside me, and I vowed to get revenge on them. What's this? After all your stalling about divorce, you call me saying you have something to talk about. Have you finally decided to get a divorce? Well, I'm fine with going to court. Anyway, there's no way you, just a homemaker, could win. Tom came grumbling and sat across from me. It had been about 2 months since Tom brought up the topic of divorce. I had been dodging Tom's constant urging to divorce, dragging the conversation on. And today, I had called Tom to a local diner saying I had something to talk about. Yes, I'm finally ready. So, I'll agree to the divorce. Oh, really? Well, you were just a homemaker, so I guess you needed preparation. Thinking about finally being free from you really makes me happy. I'll agree to the divorce, but make sure you pay alimony, okay? At my words, Tom's face went from confused to immediately angry. What? Why should I have to pay you alimony? If anything, I've been supporting you all this time, I should be the one getting money. Stop talking nonsense and just sign the divorce papers already. Tom always says he's been supporting me, but despite my complaints about not having enough for living expenses, you never gave me any money. In fact, I've been the one covering the shortfall. That's just because you're bad at managing money. Don't blame me. It's impossible for 2 adults' living expenses to be covered with just $1,000. Including alcohol, cigarettes, and your social expenses in that $1,000, it's no wonder you'd be accused of financial abuse. Whatever, nowadays anything and everything is called abuse. But I was paying for living expenses, so no need for alimony. And you're going to pay for your sin. I know you're cheating on me. At my words, Tom's face turned pale instantly. What are you talking about? You thought I didn't know anything, right? Unfortunately for you, I know everything. I said I was ready, didn't I? From the day you served me with divorce papers until now, I've been gathering evidence of your affair. I placed several photos on the table. There were pictures of Tom arm in arm with a woman, looking intimate, entering a hotel together, and even sharing a passionate kiss on the street. Besides the photos, I also have videos and audio. Wanna see? How did you get these? It was really easy. You couldn't help bragging about her to anyone and everyone, right? Everyone was appalled that you were introducing your affair partner so openly. Thanks to those people, who were more than happy to help, I was able to gather so much in such a short time. That's what I hate about you, so sneaky. I couldn't care less about what you think of me now. More importantly, you'll be paying the alimony. We can go to court, but since you're clearly at fault, you won't be able to divorce me. Just pay the alimony, and I'll sign the papers right away. What will it be? Damn. If you pay up, you can be with her, right? It's a small price to pay. Sarah, was it? She's been on TV lately, a model making waves, right? Such a young and beautiful girl might be taken away from you in no time. Taking advantage of the situation. Fine, I'll pay the alimony. Money is nothing if I can get something much better in return. In the end, Tom reluctantly agreed to pay the alimony. On a different day, I demanded alimony from Tom through my lawyer. I didn't see it myself, but apparently, Tom's affair partner tried to dodge the issue, but when she realized it was impossible, she lashed out. Why should we have to pay money? I just chose someone suitable for myself. Tom happened to be married, but he no longer loves his wife, and I followed my heart. What's wrong with that? If anything, it's the wife who clung to a loveless life and made Tom suffer who should be paying him alimony. If it weren't for the wife, Tom and I could have married much sooner. I'm the victim here. I want alimony. She rattled off her excuses. After confirming the alimony payments from Tom, our divorce process finalized. Now I finally don't have to see that annoying face anymore. Well, good luck. Being a middle-aged former homemaker, there's a chance no one will hire you. I laughed to myself as Tom sneered. Several months later, there was a knock on my office door, and I invited the visitor in. 2 men entered, one of whom was Tom, whom I hadn't seen in months. As soon as Tom saw my face, he looked utterly baffled.
Sadie, is that you? It's been a while, but why are you here?
Why? Because this is my workplace.
What? But this is...
Before Tom could finish, my father entered the room. Welcome back, CEO.
CEO.
As I greeted my returning father, Tom exclaimed in surprise. Well, this is the CEO's office. It's only natural for the CEO to enter.
It's not about that. I had no idea your father was the CEO of this company.
I never mentioned it. Since I was young, my family has always said to hide our status as much as possible, even from a spouse. The group, founded by my great-grandfather, is one of the country's leading companies, active in various fields. My father is the CEO of its publishing division. It does business with Tom's company. Thank you for coming all this way. We have something we'd like to discuss, which is why we invited you here. This is the magazine released today, published by our company, of course. I'd like you to take a look at this article. I had asked Tom and his supervisor to come here through the company. As they read the article, their faces grew increasingly pale.
Is this... Could it be that this article is about you?
Tom's boss looked at him as if seeing something unbelievable. Tom's face went from pale to white, his lips quivering. The headline of the magazine article read, Model Sarah's Stolen Love. Affair with a man from a major printing company. I'm definitely a better match for him than his wife, right? If it weren't for his wife, we could have been married already, so I'm the real victim here, detailing Tom and Sarah's affair in great detail. Of course, the names were pseudonyms and the photos had blurred faces, but anyone who knows Tom could easily identify him.
What? You actually sold our story as material?
Selling sounds so crude. I just shared what happened to me with someone, who happened to be an editor for this magazine.
So, you did sell it. After I even paid you alimony, and here you are, rotten to the core.
Rotten to the core? That's not something I can just ignore. My father, who had been silent until now, suddenly spoke up, causing Tom to flinch. Who's the one rotten here? You've been neglecting my daughter for nearly 20 years, thinking everything was fine because Sadie never said anything. And on top of that, you tried to divorce her while keeping your affair hidden, as if she were the one at fault. That's quite cowardly of you.
That's a misunderstanding.
Can you explain what exactly is a misunderstanding? Just so you know, everything written in the article, as well as the discussions leading up to the divorce, are backed up by photos, videos, and audio. There's no escaping it. Tom was at a loss for words at my reply. Anyway, the main character today isn't me but Sadie. I've gotten quite old, so I've been thinking about retiring. That's why I'm planning to hand over the publishing company to Sadie.
What? She's been a homemaker all this time, and she's gonna be the CEO.
I wasn't just a homemaker. You wanted me to be one, but I always wanted to gain work experience. So, I asked my father for a remote job, which was quite rare back then and really appreciated.
You deceived me.
That line, I'll throw it right back at you. Stayed home and support me? You just wanted to confine me and do as you pleased. As I spoke with disdain, my father cleared his throat to interject. Anyway, Sadie will soon take over as the head of this publishing house, so all future transactions will be entrusted to her.
Okay, we look forward to continuing our partnership.
Unfortunately, we can't continue the partnership. Frankly, we don't wish to do business with a company that employs individuals who lack ethical values and integrity. I'm sorry, but we won't be renewing our contract, and that's why you were called here today.
What? That's troublesome. Losing this contract could significantly harm our company.
I'm sorry, but that's not something we can be involved in. We've had a good relationship until now, but trust is essential.
Hey, Sadie. Enough with your selfishness. You're affecting the company with your personal issues.
Indeed, it is personal. But aren't business deals also about the character of the salesperson and what kind of company they represent? At least, having an affair, not seeing it as wrong, and bragging about your mistress while speaking ill of your wife surely tanks your social credibility.
That's because you recklessly exposed us in the magazine.
No, even if I hadn't brought this story to the magazine, someone else would have eventually. I wonder if that model Sarah is even aware she's in the public eye. If she's openly talking about her affair like that, it is bound to come out sooner or later. I understand you might be thrilled to be with such a young and beautiful woman, but you should have exercised some discretion. During the process of gathering evidence of the affair, I found out you were boasting about it to people at work. Most were appalled, but you did find some who supported infidelity, didn't you? Hearing that made me think this company lacks ethics. Tom fell silent at my words, and then his boss, who was beside him, said, "We are truly sorry for the inconvenience. We will take sincere steps to address this issue, so please reconsider the contract." He then turned to Tom and ordered, "Come on, you need to apologize too." But Tom showed no sign.
Hey! You're partly to blame for this situation, so apologize properly and show some sincerity here.
Despite being yelled at by his boss, Tom didn't move. Instead, he glared at me and said, "Sadie, are you happy ruining my life? I supported you, married you even though you're so plain, with no remarkable features at all, and this is how you repay me." As I've said before, it's impossible for the living expenses of 2 adults to be covered with just $1,000. It only worked because I was secretly working. Saying you supported me is just embarrassing, so you might want to stop.
That's it. Getting too comfortable, are we? I'll set you straight right now.
Enraged, Tom attempted to strike me. However, his boss quickly intervened and restrained him.
Are you insane, attacking the CEO of a client company? Let go of me. I'm going to straighten out her rotten nature. She kept quiet about being the CEO's daughter, secretly worked without telling me, and now she's taking over as CEO and ending the contract with my company. If we let her get away with this, she'll just keep doing whatever she wants. Doing whatever I want? It seems like that's what you've been doing. This situation is a fair evaluation of your actions. If you have any resentment, blame yourself for not being honest with me.
Taking advantage of Tom being restrained by his boss, I gave him a piece of my mind. He continued to struggle but was eventually dragged out of the office by security and his boss. Just when I thought the room had quieted down, my phone rang. It was an unknown number, but I had a hunch about who it might be and decided to answer.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
As soon as I pressed the call button, a screeching voice came from the other end. You must be Sarah, right? It's polite to introduce yourself first.
I don't care about that. It was you, wasn't it? You sold the story about my affair to the magazine. After taking so much money from me, you still want more. It's because you're so greedy that Tom left you.
I didn't sell the story as a scoop. I simply shared my situation with someone who happened to be an editor. And everything written in the article is true, isn't it?
Whether it's true or not doesn't matter. Well, I'm going to claim it's all baseless, but it's really annoying having to deny it to everyone. It's my fault Tom dumped me, but don't blame me for it.
Oh, you're going to claim it's baseless, even with all that evidence?
All I have to do is cry about it being fabricated, and the public will side with me. Who do you think the public will believe? A nobody like you or a charismatic model like me? It's obvious.
That's quite the confidence you have there. How about we take this to court then?
Fine, I'll sue you for defamation.
Well, you can try. Of course, I'll be submitting all the evidence I have to the publishing company's side. And, if you've read the article, you might know, but just to say, I happen to be the daughter of the CEO of this publishing company.
What? No way!
Yes. The group was founded by my great-grandfather, and my father is currently the CEO of the publishing.
But Tom never said anything about that.
I never told Tom. It was kind of like a family rule at first, but after we got married, I made sure he didn't find out. I felt like it could lead to something bad if he did. Well, thanks to him not noticing, I'm able to get the best revenge now.
You malicious woman!
Tom said something similar, but those are my words for you. Don't think you can destroy someone's family and live happily ever after. Though I should probably thank you for helping me resolve to divorce Tom. So, after all that, you're still obsessed with Tom? That's why you're doing all these spiteful things. No, Tom is irrelevant to me now. Just a while ago, he was making a scene at our company and got dragged away by security. His position at the company is probably in jeopardy now. It's a shame, considering how proud he was of landing a job at a major printing company.
What's that all about?
It just happened, so you wouldn't know. By the way, I've been designated as the next CEO of the publishing company, and you've previously published a photo book with us, haven't you? Going forward, we will no longer publish any photo books or anything else related to you. Existing publications, including photo books, will not be reprinted.
What? Bringing personal grudges into professional decisions lacks professionalism, doesn't it?
You're free to think what you want. Criticism from people like you doesn't affect me. As for the photo books, even without my intervention, it seems unlikely we'll work together again.
What does that mean?
Just as I said. Our magazine is selling quite well, especially with a story that's heavily reported on an affair involving the daughter of the group's CEO, a husband accused of emotional abuse, and a mistress who shows no remorse but lashes out. It's a target ripe for public scrutiny, isn't it? Your future in the entertainment industry might be in doubt now.
Don't joke with me. You've ruined my life.
If that's how you feel, maybe you should reflect on your actions. Well, since you admitted the affair, it will come out eventually, so you might as well hold a press conference to apologize and try to show everyone how remorseful you are. And just so you know, including this phone call, there's plenty of evidence of your outbursts. While still hearing her screaming on the other end, I hung up the phone. Following the article, Sarah predictably became engulfed in scandal. Initially, she told her agency it was all baseless, but once the publisher presented irrefutable evidence, she was forced to admit to the affair. Despite holding a tearful apology press conference, her prior actions and attitudes led to public suspicion, and her agency, unable to defend her lies, terminated her contract a few days after the conference. Sarah, once a prominent figure on TV and in magazines, has now completely vanished from the public eye. As for Tom, I received a report that he had been fired from the printing company where he worked. Apparently, the company saw no merit in keeping an employee who continued to react with outrage without any reflection on his actions. Rumors have it that Tom and Sarah had a huge fight and broke up. Sarah seemed to think Tom was wealthy, but that was because he spent most of his salary on himself. Now that he's responsible for his own living expenses, his lavish lifestyle is likely no more. Tom probably sought a submissive woman to take care of him, but Sarah was far from that. It was doomed from the start. As for me, I'm currently learning various things as the next CEO. The nearly 2 decades wasted on Tom truly feel regrettable, but now, expanding my world fills me with excitement. My life from here on out is sure to be enjoyable.